China's foreign ministry issuing a new threat, warning the U.S. and its allies to, quote, refrain from abusing China's restraint. That warning coming after a report that a Chinese fighter jet had a, quote, unsafe and unprofessional interaction with a U.S. aircraft. And while I'm on the topic of China, there are some worries about China right here at home. Some folks in a small town in North Dakota are sounding the alarm about a Chinese company that has its sights on building in their town. The company is Fufeng USA, and it's planning to build a corn mill in Grand Forks, North Dakota. The planned project is splitting the community in half. Many residents are speaking out at city council meetings, expressing concerns about communism and even spying. But not everyone is up in arms. The new project would likely boost the local economy and bring 200 permanent new jobs. That is something many in Grand Forks welcome. And now to someone with a different opinion, the mayor of Grand Forks, North Dakota, who actually supports the project, Brandon Bochenski. Nice to see you, Mayor.
Hi, nice to see you too. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. Okay, Mayor, how big is your community? What's the population about?
We're about 60,000, and if you kind of add our surrounding area, about 100,000 people.
Okay, it's a pretty big town. That's not a little town. So this is obviously it's a controversy that's going on in your town. Do you have some sort of sense of, what the split is in your town? How many are for this project and how many are against it?
I think it's really hard to say. I mean, we're a pretty conservative town. I would say that, the people that have been against it are very passionate. The people that are for it, including myself, are very, let's say, cautiously optimistic and cautiously supporting it.
I used to follow North Dakota having a low unemployment rate a few years ago. I know it's like now, but this will bring 200 new permanent jobs. Are you in a situation where you need these jobs?
No, and I think that's probably a good position to be in. We're in a position of strength to be able to negotiate some of these deals. The state ships a lot of corn, a lot of product out of the state, so any value we can add within the state is always a positive.
So this is not a do or die situation. If you don't get this deal, that necessarily people are not going to be able to have jobs because you have plenty of other jobs.
No, I think when the economy is going, you don't want to create an environment where you're looking for jobs when you need them. You want to continuously be creating jobs, and that's helpful. But I think it does give us a position of strength rather than a position of weakness.
Can you understand sort of the opposing view? A lot of people in this country are very upset with the fact that we do so much manufacturing overseas. We've even got some of the components for generic drugs for heart, diabetes, and other health conditions come from overseas. That we've become very dependent on China for our economy. And so can you understand those who object to it from the point of view that this is China and we're already overly dependent? Is that a consideration to you?
Definitely. I think, we don't blame anybody that's against this project. You've certainly seen that when it came to PPE, to pharmaceuticals recently. There is concerns that we're too dependent, certainly on manufacturing and certain items, but China's become dependent on the U.S. as well when it comes to agriculture products, certainly.
I'm trying to understand the viewpoint of those who oppose it, and we're going to have a guest in a moment who does oppose it, who started a petition. But besides the fact that it's China, the complaint is that it uses a large amount of water. Is that so? And number one, and number two, do you have a water shortage problem?
Well, in the past, in the 1930s, we had a drought here, like a lot of the country did. We normally were at the confluence. We're the Grand Forks. We're at the confluence of two major river systems. Largely, we've always had a good supply of water, but that can come under strain at times because we're on river water. But in this case, if we were low on water, residents are prioritized. Industry would be put on the back burner at that point. So when you're on a river, if you don't use the water when it's in front of you, it's no longer your water, and in Grand Forks, it makes its way out to the Hudson eventually.
So who makes the decision of whether this is a go or a no? Is that you, or is that a city council, or is that just business people?
Well, the city council would have the final say, at least locally. There's certainly the state would have its say. Right now, the company has voluntarily submitted to what's called a CFIUS review, so the Committee on Foreign Investment in the United States. So they're looking at the actual transaction of land, which was purchased from some private landowners. So they'll have the ultimate say, at least, on whether or not that transaction can go through.
One last quick question. Does China own any other businesses in your town?
Yes. I mean, interestingly, we have what's called Cirrus Aircraft. It's a large airplane manufacturing plant. It's been here for about a decade, about 300 employees there. We've got a strong manufacturing sector, about 6,000 employees. So that company is about 300. This would bring another 250. So we would have, roughly 550 jobs.
Mayor, thank you for joining me, sir.
Thanks for having me.
And now someone who disagrees with the mayor. I'm joined by a longtime resident of Grand Forks, North Dakota, Ben Grzadzielewski. Ben is a critic of the project and is leading a petition pushing for a citywide vote on the new corn mill. All right, so Ben, why don't you want this?
Well, for me, it started with the water use. They're going to use as much water every day as the city does as a whole, every single day. And last year, we had a horrible drought, as a lot of the Midwest did. And I just don't feel that it's a sustainable business for this town.
What is your occupation, by the way?
I am a carpenter.
All right. Now, is it the fact that it's a China-owned company, is that part of the equation for you as to why you oppose it?
It has become more so with all of the reports that have come out of the FBI and from the, the top generals of our military. Yeah, it has become a concern, certainly. But again, for me, it's still the water for me, mainly.
In driving around town, do you see signs opposing this?
Oh, yeah. Yes, absolutely. Everywhere.
And what do the signs say? Do the signs say water, or do the signs say something else?
It just, there's somebody went out and printed a bunch of signs that just say no fufang. It doesn't say no reasons in particular. It says no.
Is China sort of what people are talking about sort of behind the scenes? I mean, I realize that water is a consideration, a serious one, but I mean, to what extent is the fact that this is owned by China have a bearing on how some people feel?
Oh, it definitely has a bearing. As I couldn't catch the first part of your broadcast, unfortunately, but we're right next to an air base, and we're just going to get upgraded. And we're by a Space Force base. It's a huge concern for a lot of people.
Do you have some sort of sense of how it's split in town among your friends? I mean, people you know, it's like whether it's 50-50, 50 for it, 50 or against it. Do you have any sort of just vague general feeling of what it is?
I really don't. I know there's a lot of people that are on the fence, and the longer this drags on and the more information that comes out, I think more people are moving to the no side. A lot of the security reports that are coming out.
How should this be decided? Should this be decided by city council or by a vote? How do you want this decided?
Oh, it should either be decided by a vote or by the federal government. It's above our heads in terms of security. And when it comes to a vote, I mean, the city council does not agree that we deserve a vote. It's private business. I would disagree, again, because of what they're giving up. Water is all of ours, and they're giving up half of it. I mean, they're giving up just a tremendous amount for one business, 200 jobs. We need a say in that. And not to mention all of the tax breaks that are going in as well.
The mayor said that there are other businesses in your city that are owned by China. Is that okay?
Well, I think we need to focus on one thing at a time right now. And this is something that we potentially have the ability to do something about. Stop it before it happens. As the other business, there really isn't anything I think that we can do anything about it. It's there, it's established. I mean, I can't see running in there and doing anything about that, but that doesn't mean that we can't make a stand and start making a change.
Ben Grzadzielewski, thank you very much for joining me, sir. And of course, we'll be watching. I'm curious how this one ends up. Thank you, sir.
Thanks for having me.